Sir Les Patterson says he can't wait to start laying them in the aisles. Australia's expert in cultural crudity was mobbed when he hobnobbed with the rich and famous at the premiere of the movie he's convinced will make him our newest cinematic celebrity. Reporter Brady Hall's making his own mini-movie debut went along to see the making of a new movie legend.
It was only natural that multi-mega star Dame Edna, with bridesmaid Madge Alsop in tow, received a right regal welcome when she arrived at the premiere. But who expected Sir Les Patterson to arrive soon after? And with him for the first time in public, his beautiful wife, Gwenny.
This is a watershed. This is a breakthrough for the Australian film industry. It's Storm Boy meets the Elephant Man.
And no sooner had Sir Les been taken into the darkened theatre when Barry Humphries turned up with his family. Oh, and there is an up-and-coming star in the movie, in this scene where Sir Les returns home from the United Nations, where our roving ambassador was implicated in a bomb blast. Watch for the outstanding performance by the reporter in the black suit.
About the explosion. No comment, no comment.
How many people hurt?
I'm sorry, I'll be making a statement, lady. Piss off, will you? You're making a statement in due course. Piss off, will you? Just shit us locked. Winnie!
I'll let him in, Mum. Poor old Dad must be starving.
Yeah, Mum. No, I'll go in the kitchen and put on a can of beans, all right?
Oh, no, you won't, Craig. He'll blow us all sky high.
I've got the media up my freckle.
Sir Les Patterson Saves the World begins screening this Thursday. Brady Hall's Eyewitness News.
When a heavyweight thunderhead like Sylvester Stallone or petrol freak Arnold Schwarzenegger are both unable to save the world, it comes as a breath of pre-freshened air that a real saviour has emerged.
Hope you don't mind working for a male chauvinist, Nance. I'm the bloke who put the dick back into dictation.
Sir Les, is the movie a document of your life, or is it sort of sprinkled with fiction?
There are some elements in this story which have been fictionalised of necessity to protect the innocent and also to avoid terrorist reprisals. It's as serious as that.
Right.
However, there's a lot of true footage in this film. There's real stuff shot on location by secret hidden cameras.
Mistake. You call this a mistake?
It's only Valium.
It's drugs.
Valium's not a drug, it's a food in tablet form.
These women are innocent, Inspector. They're a pacifist group of Australian housewives, the Possums for Peace, on a world tour.
I found myself enmeshed in events, unbelievable events, that had their light side, their dark side, their serious side, and their bloody terrifying side. It was a story I couldn't believe it happened to me. I woke up and I thought it's another nightmare. It's another nightmare. I've been going through the horrors again due to pressure work.
About the explosion.
No comment, no comment.
How many people hurt?
I'm sorry, I'll be making a statement, lady. Piss off, will you? You're making a statement in due course. Piss off, will you? Just shit us locked. We made it in secret conditions. It was all under wraps. No one knew we were doing it. And there it is. It's done. Thanks very much, darling. Nice cup of coffee. And lovely. You're beautiful. Sandra? I'm glad the Sheilas wear their names on there.
You still have a sort of an eye for the ladies?
Yes, I do. I like a pretty woman. I do. I'm a man. I'm red-blooded. I've got my drives.
I was an airline stewardess. I came here for the water skiing, but frankly, it's the pits, which is a problem because a physical person like me needs to be kept busy.
Take your hands off me, you third world perverts! You've got a lot to learn about personal hygiene.
Are you finding that other people are using you as a role model?
I'm a role model myself now. I never thought it'd happen, but there's a lot of young people in the world now, in Australia in particular, who are like little Leses. They want to be like me, and I think that's one of the things Les Patterson Saves the World is going to encourage. There'll be Les-alikes all over Australia, and that's beautiful.
What would you say you've done for Australia's international credibility?
I reckon I've blown it.
No worries.
Les, keep it. About the explosion. No comment, no comment. How many people hurt? I'm sorry, I'll be making a statement, ladies and gentlemen. You're making a statement in due course. Piss off, will you? This shit is locked. Winnie!
I'll let him in, Mum. Poor old Dad must be starving.
Yeah, Mum. No, I'll go in the kitchen and put on a can of beans, all right?
Oh, no, you won't, Craig. He'll blow us all sky high.
I've got the media up my freckles.
Barry Humphries is a remarkable entertainer, and even more than that, he's focused his often cruel talent on Australian behaviour and lifestyle, so that while we're sitting in the audience laughing, we're uncomfortably aware that the darts are aimed at us. He's very witty and very clever, despite the vitriol. But all that seems to be missing in Les Patterson Saves the World. We're just presented with Les being his sexist, revolting self with no wider relevance at all. The story starts with Les addressing an assembly of nations, still drunk despite being fed cans and cans of baked beans to sober him up. Well, the beans produce the usual byproduct, just as someone sitting behind the rostrum is lighting a cigarette, and the resulting jet stream sends one of the leaders of the Arab state of Abu Nivea into an inferno. The plot then takes quantum leaps in its subsequent development to get Sir Les posted as the Australian ambassador to Abu Nivea, where, in the words of Barry Humphries, he's a man in search of a drink and extramarital affairs. The subplot of a deadly virus called Help, discovered by Dr. Herpes, a craft factory that manufactures toilet seats, and a torture that results from feeding camels castor oil will give you an idea of where the basis of the humour in this film is. It's poo and genital humour, and I guess the kids will love it. But back to the plot. Les befriends Dr. Herpes because they're both in search of a drink. When they return to the laboratory, they discover the other thing that Les is searching for.
Must be pretty thirsty to raid a bloke's fridge in the middle of the night. That must have been bloody desperate. Rotten table manners too, eh, Doc?
We've had a close call, my friend.
Here, have a drink.
You could probably use a stiff one.
I reckon I got one already. Here's the Sheila, Doc. I'd say she's trying to tell us something.
Oh, mon Dieu. This, Leslie, is Veronique, my research assistant. Water? Ice?
Hey, Doc, don't you think we should help Veronique slip into something more comfortable?
Good thinking, Leslie. You be the Boy Scout.
We'll have you out of that in no time, Veronique. Oh, you can hardly breathe. Let's get a bit of air to you, hey?
Dame Edna makes an appearance as the leader of a Possums for Peace tour, and she certainly livens things up, but sadly only briefly, because she too seems to have lost her caustic wit and is merely rather nasty and unbelievable. Director George Miller, the other George Miller, not the Mad Max one, has to take his share of the blame for the faults in this film. It hasn't been directed well for comedy at all. Points are laboured visually and verbally when they should have had a much defter touch. This is Barry Humphries' return to screen comedy after a long absence, and it's a bit of a disappointment. But I think people will be curious enough to see for themselves whether this film works for them, and I can only say that I didn't think Crocodile Dundee was all that funny either when I saw it first. David, what did you think of the humour in Les Patterson Saves the World?
Well, Les Patterson isn't my favourite Barry Humphries creation. I'm very fond of Dame Edna, and I thought if you say that Les Patterson saved the world, that Dame Edna saved the picture.
Yes.
I think she was... She maybe not at her top form, but
no,
she
wasn't.
She was great, though. And to discover that she's a CIA agent, well, that was an exciting moment for me, I must say. But Les Patterson, well, he's such a gross caricature, and I just don't find him very appealing at all. I think he's been a little bit cleaned up for the film. He doesn't seem quite as revolting as he sometimes does on stage. But I do wish Barry Humphries would get away from that side of his humour, because he is a brilliant man.
Yes, I think he is too. I hope he goes on to make another film, really, because he's got a lot of talent. I hope this will be a success for him.
Yeah. I must say, I agree with you. I think that the direction of George Miller just is not right for this kind of film. He doesn't seem to have a feeling for pace in comedy, and although it's beautiful to look at, the production design by Graham Walker is tremendous, yet it's in a way overproduced. Again, the comedy doesn't need that kind of lavish art direction that it does.
All right, well, Not a wonderful recommendation for us for Les Patterson Saves the World, but you'll find that it opened today in Melbourne and Sydney, and it'll commence in other states on April the 13th.
James Scanlon, Channel 8, Les, what would you say you've done for Australia's international credibility?
I reckon I've blown it.
Just 2 stars from David and 1.5 from Margaret for Les Patterson Saves the World.